Uh-huh. Okay. So here we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Seems like 22 of us. That's a nice group. That's a nice group. So welcome everybody to a Gathering of Eagles podcast. We're going to dig into some things. Actually, a lot of this came from you all, you that are here now, or you that'll hear this later, and a couple of people from Tom also asked how to deal with um, how to deal with the stresses and the pressures going on at the moment, how to stay peaceful and still move ahead. Um, so we're going to dig into some of that. We're going to look at ways I've taught for years about releasing, letting things go, work it, take your time, work it through, release the things that no longer serve us so we can heal. And then we have room for the additional. Well, I was working with a friend this week, and she has a different approach to that her tribe taught, her teachers taught. And that's the drop them. That's the hard and fast approach. And so we're going to go into that some today too. Now, to get ready for that, and since I was working with some old things myself, I thought, well, I guess I should try it so I kind of know what I'm talking about. It is intense, folks, and I will describe it a bit and then we can talk about it more. But it really is powerful, really is. It opens up some things I didn't expect and at a level I didn't expect. But if you want to see some results fast, you're tired of being hamstrung by things that are bothering you, fear or past things, especially, it is really effective. So we will go into that. And thanks for that. Um, I had hoped she would show up tonight, and she may, and we'll let her speak as well. So that and the bridge are the things we're going to focus on. And ah, so Tom says there's a couple of elders there who also work with quick release, especially of spiritual and emotional, but it works in all areas, and especially for when there's big work in front of us. Okay, so we may hear from Tom and his group also. I didn't realize actually my Lakota teachers did not teach me this way. I kind of did it sometimes, you know, accidentally, but I wasn't taught any protocols. So here we dig in and go. We're going to get rolling. I think we'll. Are you back, Jerry? I can't see. Are you hiding behind the eagle? Oh, you're there. Do you want to open us and I'll close us?
Sure.
Just in case you fall asleep because you're so tired, you know.
Tewa, tukunungwa, masa, yeji, smovo kiwa, kyang tani, tak to pangu, kwe mui paita, wita huwa, tu squaw mingwo, hopyak na kam, tetyak na kam, tevyak na kam, kunyak na kam, ha so, ha kwa, ha tum siang nahi. Creator, Mother Earth, spirits of the four directions, spirits of our ancestors, our grandmothers and our grandfathers, our male and female relatives, all those who have walked on before us, and those who are the next generation that is yet to come. I send forth this voice. I am so Ingwa, black-tailed deer. I give thanks to you, things who join us here in this circle, that have made this circle possible. I send out this voice to you, asking that you hear the voice of those who are in this circle, and more importantly, hear what is it within our hearts and our minds and is weighing heavy upon our spirits. We give thanks for all the gifts, the insights, the truths, the wisdoms, and the strength you give us to go forward from this day so that we can walk with our eyes clear, our spirits light, and our hearts happy. Oh, thank you.
Whoops. I muted myself.
You're
Thank you,
on mute,
brother.
Jim. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. And you got thanks from Pine Ridge. And they're thanking us for being, well, I guess
Oh.
I'm probably the only one left, being back on the air. We used to do a lot of these. We're glad to be back, Tom. And this is an awesome group of people. And pardon me, doing it with Jerry has really turned out to be powerful. So I know how much you all enjoyed the shows that I did with Two Dog, but he's busy doing his other things now. So I'm glad Jerry and I are here to facilitate this. But this is all of us. This is a group effort. So thanks, Tom, and thank all of you because you've been pivotal in this each time that I've done a podcast with anybody. Okay, so let's start with. Hi, Gio, welcome. Um,
Hey Jim. Hello everybody.
wow.
I'm traveling along with you.
That's what I was doing today on yours.
I know. Returning the favor.
So Tom just said, okay, I'm going to lock my doors. There's now 17 of us here. So maybe it's a slow night on TV. I don't know. Just kidding. Just kidding.
So should we go around and have everybody just
I
check
think
in?
we will just a real quick, hi, where are you from? Maybe why are you here? Just a minute or two each, because there's a bunch we can get into tonight, which is what I'm just hearing from grandmother. So yeah, we'll try to move it along. Who wants to start? Mr. Christopher, go ahead.
Just acknowledging I feel quite present, appreciating the conversation here, knowing that whatever comes up, I can talk about it, share, and I'll leave it at that. Talking stick in the middle.
Who next?
Go
Sarah.
ahead.
Whoops.
Go ahead.
Sarah, go
Sarah.
ahead.
You go. You go first. You go.
Okay.
Who was it? Was that Gio?
Go
Yeah.
ahead,
Okay,
Gio.
good.
Just a quick check-in. So coming from Scottsdale, Arizona here today, we've had big heavy rains, and one of the things that inspired me to join today is I feel like we need to give a eulogy to this tree that we lost in my garden. And I'll talk more about that later, but it was quite a traumatic experience.
Wow. Thank you. I can't see any of the little handy hands. Who else? Mark?
Sure. I'll checking in, bringing that fresh energy, at least through me, of the beautiful Apus in Italy, the Alps. I was in the foothills of the Alps for 2 weeks. Really amazing, special energy in that area. Special serpentine stone, granite, beautiful environment, beautiful people, and I'm in with that.
Awesome. You were literally up where my relatives came from. That's where my family was. That's where my grandmother was a medicine woman. So yeah, you were right in my home turf. That's
There are
interesting.
no coincidences.
No, not at all. Not at all. Did you see her there? No. Sarah, you ready?
I guess. Sorry, I've been laughing spontaneously, like bursts. Okay, Yeah, I just, I don't do much around here. I just, clean, cook, watch TV, stuff like that. So, and then I'm creating this fitness business, which is not really going so well right now. I mean, I'm still in the mixed of it. So, yeah.
Thanks. Good.
Mm, yeah.
White Fox, do you wish to say anything? You don't have to, of course.
Have to take it off mute first if you want to speak.
Yeah. Okay. I felt White Fox's words. Oh, and it's perfectly fine. Nobody ever has to talk. Um, we try to honor everybody that wants to talk. Unless they talk too long, then we have to clamp them off. But that doesn't happen. I'm just kidding.
Where is White Fox dialed in from?
That's a good
Oh,
question.
White Fox has got an audio on now.
Ah,
Oh, is it on now?
yeah, you're here. Nice.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's on.
Hi.
Yeah,
I'm
you're here.
yeah. Sorry. I'm from Nauvoo, Illinois, in the Midwest here.
Yep.
Okay.
And me and Susan come out that way when the COVID was going on, and we did 13 state tour, and we gathered 7 stones from 13 different states, and we got built in a labyrinth now.
Oh,
So it's
Wow.
great to catch up with you, Jim.
Great to catch up with you too.
Yes.
It's time for it,
Yes, it is.
And Jerry?
I will check in, I guess. I some of you may have heard about me already, seen me once or twice. My name is So Ingwa. I'm Menominee, and I was adopted into the Hopi tribe. And coming off of a full day's worth of work, 10 minutes before the podcast started, but with all of you here, including those on Pine Ridge, I want to thank you. Makes my heart and my footsteps light again, and my spirit happy just being here. I'm re-energized just because of all of you. Thank you.
Thanks, brother. And I'm all right, since I'll do I'm Hotter Sagmanatu Tanka, which is a lot of letters to say just Graywolf. Jim Graywolf. I'm in Lake Montezuma, right near Sedona. And
Sorry.
yeah, and I'm
Sorry.
I'm
Sorry.
grounding this thing from here. It is
No,
great.
sorry.
It's great to have you all here. And I'm going to see, looks like there's a couple of, okay. Oh, okay. There's people who have things to say, but not quite yet. They're just saying they're really happy to be here. So now there's 17 people, and Tom's place is not that big, I'm telling you. So it must be very social today. Why don't we start with being a bridge and then move into clearing the things that are bothering us, because one's necessary for the other, is what I was always taught. So, all right, grandmother wanted to share. I read their things quickly, and sometimes I paraphrase, so we get them through. Okay, so grandmother is a young woman. How old is she, Jerry? I don't want to ask. 102?
100, 102, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, yes, that's right. She says 102. She's been a bridge her whole life, and that's a task that she's always welcomed. It's really important now. Being a bridge, connecting the past to the present and on into the future, connecting up people, connecting nature to people, being a bridge can be many, many things. For me, I have always been, for my people, one who connects with other people and one who connects with our mother. That is all of our mothers, all of our mothers. Natural world, she's saying, wild world. Yeah. Thank you, grandmother. That's beautiful. Perfect. Who else wants to take, anyone would take a stab? What's being a bridge mean to you? And are you a bridge?
I'll go ahead and take a stab at it. I was feeling very much like a bridge yesterday. I kind of found my way in this notion of being a bridge, and I just have been finishing up a meditation teacher training program that was quite an undertaking. It was about 8 months of meditation teacher training, and I didn't know exactly how I was going to use it. It's called instinctive meditation, and instinctive meditation is kind of a process of opening ourselves out to experience the universe through our senses. So it's very different than a lot of meditation processes. And so I pulled myself together to do a video shoot yesterday for YouTube, and I did some meditation beforehand. And sometimes I have a hard time coming up with the topics. And what came to me was, well, I guess I would call myself a bridge between the spiritual realm and the realm of creating prosperity, in particular financial prosperity in the world. And I just found my way into this like notion of instinctive business. And it really is this thing that I represent, which is that we all have a treasure inside of us. And I help people to bring that treasure out. And I'm a bridge for that. I'm comfortable in spirit world, and I'm comfortable in the world of business and making money. And so I'm a bridge there.
Why does this keep turning itself off? That's a good reminder. There's a lot of different bridges, a lot of things we bridge. In the way I was trained, and I'm hearing this from Tom now also, the primary bridge is bridging the past to the future through the present, through what we're going into now. And how we do that varies. For me, I've often bridged people and nature, although I also bridge people because I've been in places and learned from people that many would not. So it's that's for me. For Geo, yeah, that's really an interesting one because I'm glad he used the word prosperity rather than money because that has different meanings. A lot of cultures, money's not the thing. Prosperity is seen in other ways. So that's a really good start. Oh, Chris popped back. We got people coming and going today. Anybody else want to? How did you do? How'd you get in? That's pretty cool. Chris, yeah.
For me, being a bridge, it can appear in any situation where two or more perspectives, experiences, people are not joining in whatever the experience is, and the idea is being that middle space, whether it's through communication, presence, to reconcile the differences between something or the gap that exists. Now, gap is not always physical or emotional. It can be, if you've got a bridge that's washed out, noticing there's some 4x2s which we can stretch across the gap. Sometimes it's helping people understand each other's communication. Sometimes it's connecting people to the earth and helping them find that connection. Being a bridge to me can be anything that arises in the moment that can be joined together in any form. I'll leave it at that.
That's really good. So what we're seeing is a mix of being a bridge at a broader level and being a bridge in this particular time frame we're in. And a lot of teachers, especially elders, are focused in on, okay, what is the best way now to bridge between what we had into what we can have? And how can we reweave things in the best possible way and get through what we're in right now, which is that time of turmoil, which a lot of prophecies talked about. And so, oops, okay. And so with that, I will go back because there's Mark.
So, what I'm called to talk about is the bridge between spirit and the material. And those of us that are called to step into that and be a bridge, it's something that I struggled with for a while before accepting. And it's what I came to is that's not about you in a way. It's not about your ego. It's not about you. It's about you honoring the gift, honoring the ask from spirit. And what the Karo in the Andes talk about is masticating or chewing information from spirit and giving it to the people. I always found that an interesting image because often it comes in forms that are non-relational. They're emotional or impressions or visions or all kinds of different things it can be, the information from spirit. But in terms of the bridge aspect of it, I think it's crucial in this time that those of us who can connect to spirit and bring that information through in whatever form it is going to be one of the crucial things that helps us get to the next earth, the new earth, because we're reconnecting with our ancestors through spirit, with our guides, with our animals, with all the things that are trying to help us and communicate with us. So it's a beautiful offering and a beautiful gift, and I feel we should honor it wherever possible.
Yes, and I totally agree. And it's you're getting agreement from Tom and some of the people with him also. It's all guided by the spiritual realm. It's all guided by creator or whatever. Oh, I'll have to translate whatever word you use for that. And it's how do we use it now? How do we best get through this time? So yes, whoops, looks like Jerry's back. It's how do we best get through this time in a good way. And a lot of us have been here quite a while on this walk, and we've been working at it. We've been on training wheels for a long time. Now it's the big game in front of us. So that's what I see as well. Jerry, anything else on bridge?
Anything else on what?
On being a bridge?
Well, I missed everything that was said before I came back on.
It was really good.
I can imagine.
It was really good.
You have to have fun as you do this too, everybody.
Absolutely. It's what makes this show good.
It makes,
I got to give a quick shout out
ahead.
to what Mark just said because I did get to hear it. And I got to give a shout out to the Kiro because in terms of think about the spirit, how the heck can they have so much wisdom about the world as they live in these, high Andean communities, and they had to escape, from the persecution of the Spanish, but they've been living in these high mountain communities, but they know exactly what's going on in the world, and they know about their bridge experience. And I hope that Mark, feels the call to share more, to share more about that experience because he just spent couple of weeks with them there in Italy. So
good. Okay, talking stick was. Oh, Jerry, are you back? It was in your hand. Jerry keeps wandering off. There he is.
Well, Geo's what Geo said makes a good point. So the Keto can be aware of all that's going on because we all have that sacred gift that was given to us, to each one of us, the sacred gift of knowing that was placed in each one of us. And it was placed in the last place that we would ever think to look. But when we look there, then we're finally ready to receive it. That sacred gift of knowing was placed within every human heart. And that's how the Kero and how at one point in time our ancestors could communicate without any internet, without any cell phone, all around the world. We just connected in that way. And being a bridge for humans, I believe that at one point in time that was part of our natural responsibility. And to be a bridge and to be a voice for the animals and for all of our relatives and our ancestors and those from those realms beyond this one. We have the ability, like all the animals do, to tap into that place, tap into that sacred spot that connects us all. Every single one of us has that within us. And if we follow the guidance of spirit and we leave ourselves open to spirit, then we will get the blessing of that gift to be a bridge at some point in time or another. In some way. It's animals and connect animals to people. Some way, somehow, we will get to have that opportunity if we keep ourselves open. And don't give in to the fear. Don't let the fear slam that door closed.
Yeah.
Let the love keep it open.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, good, everybody. That was a good circle talk. And Tom and I were chatting on the side, and so it comes back full circle again. And I was talking to somebody yesterday too, part of our circle. What occurs as bridges if all the technology collapses, which is one possible scenario that's out there? What if we have no internet? And the answer is much like Jerry is talking. Originally, the internet was who were later called shamans around the globe, and they could communicate, and some still can. I know some of them. So there was that connection, and that's why you see so many things similar in very different parts of the world. So it's a matter of those who are really adept at that, I think, picking it back up again, keeping us connected. Whatever collapses now is meant to collapse. We know that, and that'll be a positive energy going forward. So yeah, did I get that right, Tom? Tom's in some of the circles that I communicate with. Yes. Yes, remembering. A lot of this isn't learning new things. That's right. It's remembering. It's things we have known. And it's good to go out like Mark just did and go to these places. I'm really itching to get out to some of the sacred places again. I need to have my batteries refilled. So yeah, the big piece there for me, one of the biggest takeaways is don't give in to the fear. That's the only thing that can stop us. Just keep speaking our truth, saying what we have to say, stay in love, stay in light, and then it's a matter of time. And some of us are lucky. Any of us who listen to this, there's a reason. We already have some of that understanding. Help folks who don't have that understanding. And that I got from grandmother. Because there's a lot of people out there who don't understand at all what's going on. They just see everything collapsing. They see things they've never seen before. A group of elders I was in, not just a few days ago. Okay, it was over the weekend. There were two people who were really seniors, and they went through the Holocaust, and they're like, we never thought we'd have to see this again. What is happening around the globe? And it's bringing it all to the surface, so we can bridge between it back into the light, and better than we were, getting rid of it this time. We don't want to keep pushing it down, because then it comes back. It's like a disease or grief or depression. If you push it down and don't deal with it and don't face it and don't work to eliminate it, it's going to keep coming back. And that's not what we want as we head into the new earth. That's my thoughts anyway. Anything else on bridge, or shall we move into?
Chris, you have your hand up.
Chris, sorry, I didn't see it. Yours gets hidden in the white background. Sorry.
One of the things listening to you, Jerry, and you feel drawn to share, the bridge for me often has been from that place of knowing. I find I've brought messages from the forests and the trees here, and some of the trees have asked me to bring them with me when I've done my trips from New Zealand to America, where I've stayed with Jim. And we've shared the teachings, we've shared the knowledge that I've brought from the trees, from the forest, and from Mother Earth. They are the best place I find to step out of any fear, any trauma, and be reminded of our whole selves. And they gave me an exercise, see myself standing on a hill, fully empowered, fully present, looking at what is before me and feeling, yes, in that place, I feel I've got it. Because in the forest and nature, they don't question where they can or cannot deal with something. They just deal with it as it is. Nature adapts. And that's part of our walk, is find the adaptation from where I am to where I can be in this situation. If there's any sense of smaller self, it's stepping into our wholeness. The mother reminds me of this. And that's part of my process of healing from trauma. And for me, that comes from a very extended abusive childhood and family. And we can find our way back to where we are, coming from that knowing place that Jerry's spoken about. The knowledge is there. They hold the image of us whole, complete, and fully present. All they do is ask us to step into that. In the forest, it just asks a simple question: where's my heart? If I'm not present, they ask. And yeah, to me, that's a big one. The bridge between ourselves, between issues that might arise. And I find all issues come from a smaller sense of self. When we're whole, we're actually listening, not just to the thinking brain and the physical form, we're at least listening to that deeper knowing we have inside. When we step into that and be present with it, we are back to our home. It's reminded by nature. Talking stick to you, Jerry.
I'll take it and then shift it to Jerry. Just a quick comment from grandmother. She already knows she's going to meet up with Jerry, but she certainly would like to meet with the man from way under when he comes next time. So that's you, Chris.
Oh, thank you, grandmother.
We'll get there, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I am coming back.
And welcome, Kat. Okay, Jerry.
There you go.
Okay, can everyone hear me good?
Yep.
Well, my internet has been spotty off and on. Obviously, I disappeared for a while as the internet, my Wi-Fi went out. Before that were to happen again, there was a request for a story. And this story that the spirits say is very fitting for what we just talked about. So, grandmother, and for everyone, this is for you. This happened during the beginning times. Some nations had already finished their travels and their migrations and had settled. Others were still on their migrations. But there was one small nation that seemed to ignore their original instructions. They had yet to begin their migration. They remained near the place of emergence. One day, a young man of this nation went up onto a nearby mesa, and he sang a calling song for an ancestor. The ancestral spirit appeared to the young man and asked why he had been called. The young man explained, "Below, you see the camp of my people. We are a very small nation. We are surrounded by fierce and warring peoples. They have killed many of our warriors. They have kidnapped many of our women and children. We are harassed. They harass us daily and have taken many of our animals and most of our food. I have called you to seek your advice, for they continue to harass us daily, and we grow weaker by the day. Too weak to fight our way through their territory. We grow fewer and weaker each day, and can no longer stay here either. So I have sought your advice." The spirit ancestor told the young man of a hidden spring far out in the desert, and told him of a few landmarks that he could use to find it. But he told them that it was a very dangerous journey, and if he went, he probably wouldn't survive it. The young man thanked the ancestor spirit and then went back down to his camp. He told no one of this thing that he was going to be doing. He set about on his journey. He took a pouch of journey food, a skin of water, his bow, and a handful of arrows. In this manner, he set out into the desert. Now, the desert was a much harsher place than any that we know today, for the face of Mother Earth had not yet finished changing. The sun was more ferocious than any that we know now, and it shone down relentlessly on that young man. He quickly went through his water skin and emptied it. And the sun continued to beat down and seemed to boil his brain. He had no clothing for protection, only his loincloth. He had no pack animal. There were no trees or bushes for shade or shelter. He tried even picking up a small pebble and putting it in his mouth, but soon that didn't help either. And still, the vicious sun continued to beat down relentlessly upon him. He knew that he had to survive. He knew that he couldn't go on in this fashion. He knew he had to find a way to travel, to escape the heat during the heat of the day and to travel at night and journey in the cooler night. He knew he had to find a way or his people would be no more. He was convinced that he would find a way and determined that he would. The ancestor spirit thought of that young man who had called him, and he determined that he would go out and find out what had happened to that young man. So he went out scorching desert, expecting to find the young man's bleached bones lying in the sun. As he began searching, in the distance he saw something that had not been there before. So he went over there to determine what this thing might be. As he neared, his heart soared. There was the young man lying on the sand. About him, he had stuck his arrows into the sand so that it provided just enough shade to protect his head, his eyes, and his heart. In that manner, the young man survived the heat of the day. He journeyed in the cooler night, and he managed to find that hidden spring. He refreshed himself there and prepared the area. Then he returned to lead his people there. And there, deep in the hostile desert, where their enemies could not reach them, they settled into a life of peace for all time. Now, in the red world, we're faced with many difficulties. And in this world today, all of us, from all walks of life, are faced with so many difficulties. We speak about them and we hear about them often in this group, in this circle. But we must remember that young man. Driven by the strength of his convictions, he managed to survive with nothing but the shade of his arrows. We too need only the strength of our convictions. Today, that is the shade of our arrows. It seems like very little. It seems like very little indeed sometimes, but it will always provide us what we need to survive. The strength of our convictions, the strength of the wisdom of our ancestors, the strength of that life all around us, and that inner knowing within us. The strength to open ourselves and be that bridge. Let life flow through us and out to everything. Thank you for asking for a story, grandmother. This is what the spirits have decided to give you. Oh,
Oh, great story.
Oh,
Oh,
And I'm sure I know the answer, but I won't speak for you. So a couple of the younger ones in the group, they want to know, is that a Hopi story or Dene? Because they don't think that that's Lakota.
that no, that is not a Lakota story.
So Hopi,
That was a Hopi story.
yep.
Yes.
So you're right. Those of you who thought Hopi, and I guess I didn't introduce Jerry too well. Jerry is a Hopi storyteller, master Hopi storyteller. So thanks for asking. Oh, they love the story. Perhaps will be another one before we leave tonight. Okay.
For all of you young ones listening, you've seen this world tear at you and at what the things you've learned from your elders, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your aunts and your uncles, and your mothers and fathers, all the things they've shared with you and gave you, the beautiful truths and the beautiful things they've shared with you. And this world will tear at you and try to rip those things away and try to show you that those things are nothing. Those are the shade of your arrows. Those wisdoms and those teachings and those ways that were given to you and shared with you are what will give you the strength, just like that young man, to get through anything in life. Hang on to them dearly. Uh-huh.
Oh,
Oh,
Talking stick in the middle.
Mr. Whoop, he disappeared. Chris, you had your hand up. Is your hand still up? He may have taken a break. Okay. Yeah, that's right. And it's a time to be with our groups. Tom was saying, yeah, it's a time now to be hollow bones at a level we've never achieved before. Probably most of you here now, if not all of you here now, know what hollow bone means. For those who hear this and don't understand or don't know or haven't heard it yet, Hollow bone is clearing yourself, is removing any of the, as Jerry said earlier, any of that fear, any judgment, any anger, anything that blocks, pardon me, blocks you connecting with Creator, with the earth, with other humans, with the animals. The animals are critical right now. So we have to practice being a really true hollow bone. And I've been practicing for a lot of years. I'm a slow learner, and it sure is not perfected yet. But we'll walk into that whole healing part and how we can get there effectively in a minute. But Chris, I want to bring you back in.
Yeah, adding to what's been said, I'll describe it as I get it. I've been shown and learnt there is a strength in being connected to both nature and the mother, and they are one and the same. They're all, we're all on that wheel of life. And I find for times coming, I'm being told that those who have that connection have a greater strength because it comes not just from ourselves, but the world around us, the nature. And I find and feel that strength coming through me. And it's been part of that life that we find in that connection, that vibrancy. And that uplifts us, I find, because our body soaks that life in. It's not about the connection, it's about the life that comes with it, which is where we feel we are the wheel of life. And in any situation, especially for what's coming, that connection will show us where to go. The mother, in my experience, never leaves us alone, ever. Many have lost sight of that, and I'm talking specifically the Western world. We got caught up in listening to external expectations, whether from ourselves or the world around us. When we get out of those illusionary image, because they're all disconnecting, and come back to that vitality, that life, that integration, that natural place we've always had within us, but fell asleep to. Coming back to our connection with the mother, to me, literally gives us the wholeness we haven't had before, because it's only in that presence and that part of the life flow that we get that strength coming through. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not sure if I've done a good job.
Thanks. No, it's good. Thanks, Chris. And we will be having whole
Beautiful,
shows.
Chris. Thank you.
We'll have whole shows focused on nature and working with the mother and working with animals for sure. Geo is either turned into a tree or a lake or oh, okay.
I'm sharing the sunset with you all here. It's just going down over this lake here. And I wanted to give voice to two things that are related to the trees. And when I was down in Mexico and being introduced to the Mayan culture and their ways and such, they have this hollow tree that they traditionally use to receive messages. And the one tree in particular that I was, that the person that was, explaining the history and the culture, we gathered around this tree, and the tree is actually hollow in the center. So when you knock on it, you hear kind of a very hollow tree. And so I connect with that tree to gain wisdom in my imagination. Like that tree is a, it's like a symbol in my imagination. So I connect with that particular tree. So I wanted to give some voice to the trees, and in closing, well, I guess closing, opening, whatever. But the tree in our courtyard, it was this beautiful Palo Verde tree, and in this past downpour of rain that we got here in Scottsdale, a couple of days of downpouring rain, that tree, something happened to it, and I could see from my patio that it was falling over a little bit. I didn't go down to really see it, up close, but early the next morning, I'm hearing the chainsaws, at 7 o'clock in the morning. And before I know it, like every trace of that Palo Verde tree has disappeared. And it's like having a friend that just, like commits suicide or something. It's like they're completely just there's not a trace of them. And so I just had to give a voice to that Palo Verde tree because for at least a couple of days afterwards, all the birds were flying around and kind of doing the same thing I was doing, which was, what happened here? We lost a friend. And that tree was like the arrows in Jerry's story. It provided shade and it provided a place for the birds to land. And it was home for a lot of creatures and a lot of wisdom. I would meditate on my patio and just like the hollow tree in the Mayan lands, I would connect with that tree and listen to it and watch the breeze moving through it, and I would feel the wisdom of the cosmos through that tree. So I just had to give some voice to that because, like I said, it's like losing a friend. A friend just all of a sudden disappears. There's not even a trace. So
Thanks
that's my eulogy to the
to the
to the
trees.
Palo Verde, just particular Palo Verde tree. Yeah.
Yep. And they don't have particularly deep roots, I understand. So that's
Yeah.
part of it. And then we get this rain that we don't normally get. So I was a little worried about a couple of my trees here, but they made it through okay.
Nice.
There, I think, Todd.
Hmm? So that, yeah, the tree people. And so Frank is mentioning the follow-up on yours, Gio. Trees are scarce on the reservation. There are some places, and each year we go to gather a tree for the Sundance, and that's a big ceremony. And that tree is honored and respected. And we use the trees on the reservation also for willows for our lodges. But there's not a lot of trees, so losing a tree is a big thing. And if it's a tree we connect with, and I connect with trees a lot, I know Chris does, some of you may, it's, yeah, they're awesome teachers. And it's getting rooted, being secure. Don't give up right now. Hang in there. I want to shift a little bit. If are we done with this part, Jerry?
I believe so.
Yeah, me too. Let's spend a little time on, and some of this was coming from some in our group who couldn't be here today, and a couple of the people who were with Tom. And just, of course, there's no coincidences, but it's what I was working on for the last few days with a friend who showed up from south of Phoenix. And that's the whole working on ourselves in this time to help clear that fear or anxiety or stress or physical pain, whatever we're feeling right now. It's amplified for many, for a lot. It's why there are a lot of people coming and asking questions, which is good. Let's share what we all know. I said at the beginning of the show, I've always worked with folks to release what they no longer need. And I'm sure a lot of you work that same way. But this approach that I was given is a way to release some things quickly. And what it's called is the drop. And I believe, yeah, the person who brought it to me, I believe it was a Cheyenne tradition that it first came to from her, one of her teachers. And she's been using it for a while now. And she is a very experienced spiritual teacher. And she also works on health issues. She's actually working with me right now with one of my dogs, who is being a great teacher at the moment. We may go there too. I was working quite a bit on myself over the last month, maybe, in releasing some old attachments, old remembrances, I was paying attention to some of the things I experienced in this life. And I've been here long enough that some of those things are now gone. They won't come back again. And that was really putting me in a state of funk. I was paying attention to friends who were asking about how many species we've lost. And yes, there's a lot. We've lost 70% of the species on this planet in the last 50 years, or within my lifetime, and some of you, we've lost 70% of the species. Now, we can let that put us in fear or sorrow or depression, or we can say, okay, let's get through
Anything
that.
else?
What I just touched on that, man.
Got it. Sorry. Or we can use it as a way to start clearing things and better help people to bridge what's going on and then create what's new. And so in my traditional way, in the way I was trained, we worked a little bit each time. And I would pour a sweat lodge, or in the beginning, one of my elders would pour the sweat lodge, and I'd tend the fire. But we'd have a lodge and we'd work on things we no longer need, things causing us pain of any sort. Oh, and then we'd go and do some walking in nature. And then maybe they would have me, if I was clearing something, go with a question and go to the water or go to the mountain or just go within myself. And it was an extended period of time. Also working at the same time to bring in the new positive things we did need. This drop, and I can't remember, I'm sorry, the native word for it. I had it written down, but I can't find that tablet. I'll put it online later when I find it. Not that it matters, but it gives it a certain energy. The drop works like this, and I'll be curious to hear what you all say. And I tried it, so I will share that too. Start with a worry basket or something that takes that place. If you don't know what a worry basket is, it's literally a basket. It's kind of cone shaped, and then it has usually leather straplets, and sometimes some metal coming off the bottom. It's a place, I've always used it in my sweat lodge. I usually have one down by the lodge. So before you go in, when you show up, anything that's bothering you, anything that's making you angry, the practice is to take it and leave it in that worry box. Leave it there, the worry basket. It's called a lot of different things, but so you don't bring it into the lodge. And so it's something you'll work on in the lodge. I have mine here. It's hung in the kitchen, and then when I do a ceremony, I take it down to the ceremony. And so she didn't see the worry basket when she started telling me this. And right away I thought, okay, this is going to make sense because here it is, right here, sitting in my kitchen. So in this way, we go into ourselves. We feel into what needs to be addressed. What do I need to release right now? What do I want to release right now? What is Creator telling me to let go of now? In this particular time, she's like, we're all facing so much. What do we need to release to get onto that bridge, to get over this and into that new time when we weave that new earth, the next earth, fifth or sixth, whatever your culture says it is. Actually, a couple say the fourth even. I'm used to the fifth. So when we understand what that is, and I spent a couple of days doing that, I guess, and I wasn't getting a lot of clarity. I was getting a lot of stuff because I was having so many different things coming at me, including physical pain from my arthritis, which was really flaring up. So I put probably more than was wise into that worry basket I was going to work with, which is also a habit I have, which isn't always the greatest thing. You don't want to take too much at once because what you're going to take, you're going to just leave now. Boom. So once you have it there, you do some prayer, some ceremony. If you're not experienced in these sorts of things, it'd be good to do it with somebody who has experience, because you can also journey with it to feel what these things need in order to be released and what can come and take that place. And then you physically take a bag, a pouch, whatever you want, and you put something in there that has some weight, a rock, some earth, a piece of wood, whatever you feel. The earth will tell you what to put in there. Whatever you feel is right. This is to bring some physical reality into what you're doing. This is to make it real. It's representing those things you're going to just drop. And then giving gratitude for everything that these things you want to drop have given you, have taught you, have allowed you to progress over and above, or at least to understand. You take it and you physically drop it. Boom. Wherever it feels right, wherever the mother is going to take it and reuse it and recycle it. And you let it sit there. And you sit with that a while. And again, you give thanks. And you start to feel into, okay, what does this feel like? What does this mean? Have I felt something shift? If there's more than you can handle at once, you may have to do it several times. The ideal is to do enough at one time that you're done with it. It's over, and you can then heal from what you left behind. We can't always do that, but it is intense. And I was surprised how much it came and just walloped me. So it hit me at an emotional level. I was feeling sadness and depression, and that had moved into grief, I think I mentioned, because I had to grieve some of these things that were gone. And it wasn't just my life, it was preceding life. And even the bigger part was with the mother. I've spent a lot of this walk so connected to the mother that what she feels, I feel. What I feel, she feels. And so I was getting all kinds of things. That also brought up some physical issues, which I'm now dealing with. A systemic infection, which I've had happen before. So as that all came, I just sat with it, and literally for 2 days, a day and a half, I didn't do much of anything. I couldn't. I drank a lot of water. I did a lot of prayers. I sent up some tobacco. I opened my pipe. I burned sage, and I just allowed it to come. My brain wanted me to jump in and stop it. It's enough, no more. So I had to keep going down into my heart, down into my spirit, because I needed to sit with it. If you're going to do this and you're going to drop things you don't need, you really need to do that. You sure as heck don't want them back again. Now, I guess yesterday it started to really lift. Today I was so much better. And those things I felt are gone. There's some other things coming up. Again, many of them connected to animals. As I was doing this, I also realized Crystal, my adopted dog, some of you know, some of you helped me when she had some medical work, is going through things again, and we're kind of mirroring each other. Things happening to her are happening to me, and vice versa. So it's that connection with the animals too. So as Gio talked about the trees, remember the animals right now. They are here to help us get through this. That's the animals' biggest job here on Earth, is to help us, to guide us through that. And in doing that, they become even more than they are. So connect in with the animals as you do anything. And I don't mean just pets. I mean anything, any animal. It can be an earthworm under your tree out there, or a little cockroach. One was going to cross my patio this morning. I carefully moved them. I'm being real careful now not to damage her, even by unintentional neglect. So instead of spending what sometimes can be months to remove some of these things, literally in a few days, I removed a couple of really big pieces I've been working for a while and just not getting where I needed to be. I think that's enough for now. What about comments, questions? Any of you ever done that work? I'm going to see what Tom has in here because he had a couple elders.
Just got to offer an aho to what you
Is
just
that
said.
Geo? Yeah.
Just an aho to what you just said. Yeah.
Oh,
Aho, aho. And
well,
maybe a couple other words too. And I know everybody relates to, healing in their own language and their own, meaning making around it. And what I hear you talking about is something that I can also relate to quite deeply. I lost two siblings about 3, 4, 5 years ago now, and I never knew the meaning of grief work. I didn't really know what that meant. I always, sort of associated that with, simply grieving when somebody passes along. But as you're sharing right now, I relate to what I discovered about it is that there are many things to grieve. Like was expressing about this tree, losing this tree, and, sometimes, well, not sometimes, but we all lose things. Sometimes we lose jobs, sometimes we lose status, sometimes we move and we lose our home. And so to make space, and I love the way you described it because with the worry dolls, it made me think about these Guatemalans, and they had a similar tradition. But I just wanted to give voice to what I would call it, or what I do call it, which is grief work or shadow work. And it's a very, very important. My one sibling who has resisted doing the grief work, she does alcohol instead of doing that grief work, and that's typically something happens if you don't let go of these wounds and these things that happen. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Thank you. And it's also it's a good thing, Gio. One of the takeaways I had from your work is sometimes some quick results are a good thing. And when we're in this spot and we're trying to get rid of these things we don't need so we can do the positive work, to kick it off with some good quick results is helpful. It lets us realize, oh, I can do this. And then if it takes a little longer, you're not feeling like, oh, I'm getting nowhere. So yeah, it's I've done that too, and it's interesting as well. I didn't even realize till you were talking about your siblings. So I have a brother who hasn't spoken to me for probably 30 years now, at least 30 years now. And I gave up a long time ago trying to reach out. And my sister and I have been my birth sister and I have been at odds for a bit. We look at things very differently. But today, as I was waiting to come on the show, she called and we had a really good conversation. Perfect? No, but nothing's perfect. But it was a good conversation like we used to have. And we brought up my brother because it's the same with her and him. And it's having sympathy for people who are stuck in that place. Because as the teaching goes and also the healing goes, many of them have to repeat this. And I know there's a lot of things I've been through. Please don't make me repeat it again, Creator. I'm doing my best.
Those who would have us trapped in fear are stuck in that cycle.
Yes.
What's the saying? The beatings will continue until morale improves.
My favorite one is you can listen to the whisper or you can wait for the brick.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of them. And as we go ahead,
I gotta share my favorite one. It never hurts to ask. That's my father's wisdom passed along. It never hurts to ask. That will take you a long ways.
No.
Yeah, it will. It will. Jerry, were you done with that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thought so.
Our
Wasn't
sister
sure.
Kat has her hand up.
Well, sorry, Kat. Boy, I'm lousy at seeing these hands anymore. It's a good thing you're picking them up. Kat, go for it.
Sego, everybody. Hello.
Oh,
I'm
Oh,
happy to be here. I just wanted to just say quickly, a hello. And the last time I was here, with you guys, a strange thing happened to me, between that time and the time, up until like the next day. I felt a change. I felt like something was like taken away from me that was like negative. There was like a negativity, you know, and that was just, my observation and my feeling. And it was like whatever happened, I was getting healed. Um, and I just wanted to tell you guys that. So I'm really honored and humbled at the same time. And grief is, I wanted to just listen mostly tonight. I came late because I wasn't aware of what time the group was, but I got on Facebook and then it showed up in my feed, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like 35 minutes late. So
no,
yeah,
we're on native time. You can't be late.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And that means, to me, that means you did good work. Because if healing comes out of this, it's the energy coming out of the circle, but then you have to take it and you have to do the healing. So good work, Kat. Keep it up. Jerry.
Thank you.
well, let's see if I can catch a bunch of things, more than one thing in hand here, and kind of encapsulate the rest of what we wanted to talk about. We wanted to talk about, people leaving our lives, as we progress on this path. Want to talk about that anxiety and that fear. Two things showed up on the screen in my mind's eye as I was sitting here. Reminders. They have to do with nature and this time of year. This time of year, I just attended a ceremony at a place called the Hawk Watch, because the hawks, all the raptors, the hummingbirds, the geese, the butterflies are all on their migration right now. They're traveling, they're migrating, and they're going south to escape the coming winter. And they'll have their children. The next generation will be born from that migration, from that journey, from them surviving and following their original instructions. Those hawks sometimes were so high you could only see them if you looked with binoculars. Even if they were against a backdrop of a beautiful white cloud, they were high enough you couldn't see them. And when you put the binoculars on them, you could see it was like a huge river of all these hawks and raptors migrating. As humanity, all of nature is going through a migration right now. We are traveling in a way. We are traveling as we are going forward. We are being urged to release and let go of those things which would keep us from going forward on this migration, keep us from moving into that higher realm, that higher vibration, that fifth world or the sixth world, the next stage of humanity, of all life. We are on that migration. Those hawks, those raptors, the hawks, the falcons, the eagles. You think about when a eagle or a hawk first starts flying. When they're flying low, they're set upon by all kinds of birds. the crow especially. How many times have you ever seen that eagle or that hawk strike back at those birds that are bothering you? Chances are the answer that most of you have is none. If you've been blessed to see that, they just keep rising. They just keep staying true to their original instructions and who they are. They rise until pretty soon all those things that were wishing to prevent them from going forward on their path are below them now. That's what we must do during this time, during this so-called migration of the spirit, as we enter into that higher realm, that higher vibration. We must just keep rising. Stay on our path. Follow our original instructions. Let those guide us. Let our ancestors guide us. Let our elders, right, Grandma? Let our elders guide us with their wisdom, with their love, with their sacrifice that our ancestors have done, so that these ways could still stay alive. These truths, these wisdoms could give us that strength. Also during this time, soon, autumn will be here. The leaves of the trees will begin changing colors. And what do they do every year? This is in honor of the trees, Geo, and a shout out and reference back to my wife who made this journey and shed her physical body and entered into the spirit realm. Her favorite teachers and her favorite teaching was the teachings of the trees. So I'll share some of those teachings now because they're appropriate. First of all, everyone knows those beautiful big sequoia trees, right? Even if you haven't seen them, you know those beautiful, tall, amazing sequoias that are some of the tallest trees in the world. Did you know that their roots as tall as they are, you would figure they would have to have a huge root system to stay rooted within the earth like they do. Their root system isn't that deep. But what they do, their root system becomes one with all the other sequoias. They bond together. And their strength together is what keeps them always growing upward and outward. Upward to Earth's creator and outward to provide shelter and shade for all life. Together, we can do this. Together, we go forward. Those geese, when they migrate, every now and then, first of all, you know why there's more geese in one side than the other? Why one side of the you see them traveling in a V? Why one part of the V is longer than the other? That's just because there's more geese on one side than there is in the other. but those geese, the one that's in the lead, bears the brunt of that wind, but they shift and they change positions so that no one has to bear that burden alone. They all bear that burden together. Those hawks and those eagles, they have that sharp vision. They can see for miles and they can hone in and zero in on that which is needed for life, which is their food, a rabbit or a squirrel. From miles away, they can see it. But did you know that up close, their vision is almost like nearsighted? It's kind of blurry up close. That is to remind us like that we should be like them. That sharp, critical vision. We shouldn't turn that sharp vision on those that are close to us, on those that are around us. No judgment, just love, just acceptance, just peace. Those trees do that. Those trees drop their leaves to the ground. That which they need to sustain them, that which sustains their life, they give away every year in the spring, in the autumn. And when their gift sustains the life and the earth around them, And that gift returns back to them because it makes that earth that much richer. It provides nutrients for the earth, which provides nutrients for things to grow, which provides nutrients for the animals. That gift sustains all life by their selfless giving, not by hoarding things, not by saying, well, I'll choose to give this to this person, but not that. They give selflessly. That's a hard path to take. But it's the teaching of the trees. The trees do that all the time. They offer shade and shelter to any being. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks of them. It gives that to all of them. A tree, a, a birch will grow in the middle of a oak grove, but it'll still be a birch. It doesn't change itself to strive to be like the others around it. It continues to stay true to its original instructions and its purpose and to who it is. As others in life fall away from you that were in your life, as those that are pecking at you and weighing you down and stop you from rising, just continue to go forward. Continue to follow the guidance of your spirit. And those that you lose, think of them fondly. Thank Creator in them, in your heart and in your prayers for the gift of that time with them. But continue to go forward, and others will join your path that will bring you much joy, much happiness, much wisdom, much strength, and peace. It's a natural part of life. Sometimes we come down with that soul agreement that we will walk this path for a short period of time with this person or that person, but then must branch off as we go forward. It's okay to grieve those things. It's okay to grieve those people as they leave your path. But also remember to give thanks. Give thanks for the time that you shared together. Give thanks for what was learned together as you walked together. Take that and go forward, because as you do, you take them with you in that way, and they're not gone. That's all I'll say for now. Maho, talking stick in the middle.
Oh, that's excellent.
Oh.
Yeah, and I would say it's not only okay to grieve them, it's necessary to grieve it. But you're right, balance it with gratitude. And I've had people I've walked with very closely who then we've gone off. And yeah, and it's painful. You have to go through the grieving thing. You know, when things change, when we lose something, whether it was a positive thing or a negative thing, we grieve. It's part of our makeup. So it's best to do that and be done with it. So it doesn't come back, because it always comes back stronger. Always. That was great, Jerry. Thank you. And grandmother loved what you said. She said it wasn't a second story, but okay. Whew, that was a lot. Wait, and I'm sorry. There was a lot of you all there tonight. I couldn't get to all of the comments and questions. If you wish, Tom, you can send them to me. I'll put them up on the page if you'd like. We will always do our best, but I know we can't get everything.
I would like that.
Somebody want to stick?
Just said I would like that. I would like to see the comments and the questions from the delegation in Pine Ridge.
So Jerry, he of the black-tailed or black-eared or black-rumped, I can't remember, deer would like to hear it. So Tom, if you would send them to me, I would appreciate that, and I will get them up. It may take a couple days, but he'd be happy to. It may take until the weekend, but he'd be happy to. Okay. Wow.
Thank you.
Jim, I've got a quick question.
Yeah.
Are there any events coming up in your world on your on your rock rim? Anything that we should know about in terms of live events coming up at your house, or maybe even ones that you're considering or thinking about?
Not at the moment. There's some things coming, but mostly they're for me with a few people. And I am thinking about what we need to do next. We are going to open here's one, Geo. I have a sweat lodge here, and I've been trained in Lakota tradition by my Lakota teacher and in the Mayan tradition by my Mayan family. And those are kind of ones I've poured over the years, but I've always added a few things, as Two Bears told me I would. We did one not long ago that was different. It used to exist a couple hundred years ago, and it was not attributed to any one tribe. And it was a way that Native people and non-Native people could create this thing. We're going to do that here. We did one. We're going to do our own here. It may be an Eagle Lodge. I'm not sure. But we're going to welcome everybody, and we're going to create how we do it. So it will be a sweat lodge, but it will not be an EP. It will not be strictly Lakota or strictly Mayan or anything else. It'll be something for the times we're in now. And I have some friends in other places around the country that want to mirror that and create them as we're creating them. And I think that's awesome. So that's something coming up. Other things coming, I'm just not sure. Jerry may be here in a bit. We may do something. We're not sure yet either. Everything's in flux kind of at the moment, but
I love it.
more to come.
Well, I'll toss out just a couple of things for people's awareness. Is that the full moon is coming up on Monday, I believe, Monday or Tuesday. I think it's the 6th. So that's a celestial event. And then the winter equinox comes up, of course, on the 21st of December. And I have traditionally held a global winter solstice online event. And just put those out there as celestial events. Of course, Thanksgiving as well. So just toss those ideas out there.
Okay, good. Ooh, and you missed my fun one, Halloween, but that's okay.
Ooh, I like it.
All right. Anything else? Jerry, did you want to share a short story, or are we too late?
No, I was just going to ask if I should share another story for grandmother.
Yeah, I don't want grandmother to
Grandmother-
be mad at us.
Grandmother, some here in this circle have heard this story before. This story is for those young people also.
Mhm.
But as always, this story goes out to whoever hears it. And I just do as I'm told. I learned a long time ago. This is a story that they're asking me to share. I don't question why. I may find out why later, I may not. So there came a day when Creator looked down upon the earth to see how his children, the humans, were doing. Creator looked a long time on the earth. When he was done, with a heavy heart, Creator went to the guardian spirits of the directions and reported sadly that the human beings had lost their way. They were no longer living according to the original instructions to live in peace and harmony with all life. In fact, they were so far out of balance, they were destroying the earth and all of her children. He saw no other choice. He said he must cleanse the earth and begin again. Eagle spoke up and said, "You've given me the responsibility of being the guardian of this world, being your eyes and ears and your sacred messenger. Give me a chance to find some still living according to your ways. And if I can even find just one person still living according to your ways, following their original instructions, please spare them. Give them time to return back to the ways of harmony and beauty." Creator didn't wish to destroy his children. So he told Eagle, "I will give you 4 days. But if at the end of those 4 days, You can't find even one person still living according to those instructions and those ways. I'll have no choice but to cleanse the earth and begin again. So, on that first day, appearing with the sunrise as he always does, bringing in the new day, Eagle appeared. And as he flew in the direction of the east. And as he looked down with his far-seeing eyes, he saw ceremony sites sitting unused. He saw no sacred fires. He heard no drums, no songs being sung. There was no prayer smoke being sent up from the pipes. Matter of fact, he looked down and saw ceremony sites sitting unused and falling apart due to neglect and lack of care. This is all he saw on that day. And as still happens today, the sun had reached its nightly home. And as it began to set, Eagle returned to the spirit world with only 3 days left. That next day, once again, Eagle appeared with the sunrise, bringing in the new day. This day, as he flew and he looked down, he saw many people. The people he saw with his sharp vision, he could see within them and see their hearts. He didn't need to really see their hearts because he heard so many. He heard some speaking and boasting and talking, but all they knew and how wise they were and how smart they were. Heard them saying, "Come, follow me, for I know all. My way is the only way." He heard this, and he saw within the hearts of so many. He saw jealousy, greed, anger, hatred, fear. He saw people filled with only themselves, the voice of their spirit going unheard. As he looked, he noticed that once again, the day had passed. As the sun set, Eagle returned to the spirit world with only 2 days left. On that third day, as Eagle appeared with the sunrise, off in the west, he saw thick lines of black smoke drifting up and filling the sky. Flying in that direction, when he looked down, he saw this was not the smoke of ceremony fires or prayer smoke. This was the smoke of war. This was the smoke of villages being burnt. So he looked down to hear the wails and the cries of the victims of war. He saw brother fighting brother, father fighting son, tearing and killing and ripping at each other. No compassion, just hatred. So much death, so much destruction. Eagle began to despair. And once again, the day had grown short. As the sun set, he returned to the spirit world with only 1 day left. On that fourth day, that last day, Eagle flew in the direction of the north. He saw all that he'd seen the previous days, ceremony sites falling apart, unattended. No ceremony, no songs being sung. Those that were left from the wars just filled only with themselves and with the greed and the anger and the hatred and fear. He saw the refugees from the wars fleeing in this direction. All that seemed to be left were the children. no one left to guide them. And once again, he saw that the day had begun to grow short. The sun had began its trip towards that western horizon. Just before it touched that horizon, Eagle decided more circle about the earth. As he began, off in the distance, far, far away, almost beyond the limits of his sight, Eagle saw a small little line of smoke drifting up. The sun had touched the western horizon. As it began to set, Eagle flew as fast as he could towards that little line of smoke. With his mighty wings, they carried him in that direction. With his far-seeing eyes, as he got closer, he saw. And he looked down and saw the source of this smoke. It was a young man, much too young for the responsibilities he had taken upon himself. This young man held up a sacred pipe, tears streaming down his face. And he called out and he cried out. He was crying out for strength, for wisdom, for understanding, but not for himself, but so that he could help his people live and return to Creator's ways and follow once again those ways of beauty and harmony, those beautiful original instructions of life. Just before that sunset, Eagle swooped down, gathered up those prayers and that prayer smoke. As the sun set, Eagle returned to the spirit world. He had found his one person. This is the story of how the eagle and one small boy saved mankind. Now, that young man, that young boy, when Eagle first told this story to the first human being, that young man was long since gone. His children and his grandchildren were long since gone from the earth. Creators had me share this story all over this turtle's back because, unfortunately, all of the elements that are within the story are now alive and well in this world today. But I'm always told to leave it with this note that each of us can be like that young boy. It all depends on what we decide to do each morning when that sun rises. Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Oh, and you got a Whoopla Washtelo. Or thank you, beautiful. From the people up there. Mhm. Yeah, go ahead, Kat. Did you want to? No, okay. It was just a heart. Yeah, that was a great one. And I've heard it before, but that was perfect timing. Thank you. Doesn't hurt to hear them many times. So we covered a lot of ground, and our producers here remind me to tell everyone we have a group. It's on Facebook right now. That's probably going to shift before long to a different venue, but it's a gathering of eagles. Come and join us there. We are putting some things up there we don't put anywhere else. We're focusing some work there, and we'll continue to. We'll have offerings there. Jerry and I, and then probably Chris and others will be welcome to do it as well. So please come and join a gathering of eagles on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook if you have questions. You can find both of us in that group as well. And while Jerry was telling the story, the guidance from several of the elders that were there with grandmother, she's the oldest of them, was to keep the faith. Remember that from when we were younger. Keep the faith. Martin Luther King. So let's make sure we keep the faith, because we have this no matter what happens. We do have this. These things are needing to play out, and they are. And we, the great masses, we, the majority of the two-leggeds, are coming back into our power to work with the mother and the animals and creator to get to the next level, which we were told we could do. So let's just keep doing that. I keep praying for everybody, starting with myself, because boy, I need it. Jerry.
I'd also like to add that the Gathering of Eagles is a branch of our nonprofit organization, SODOM, Sanctuaries of the Earth Mother. And if any of you should feel so inclined, it's a tax deduction. I'll say that, but I also want to say that any donation that's given, or anyone that hears this recording of this event, these things are made possible by SODOM, the members of SODOM, and some quite often by the very the scraps that are in our pockets of Gemini, so that we can continue to do these things. The donations will be used to continue the Gathering of Eagles and all the things that SODOM continues to do, and continue to get Jim and I and all the other elders that are asked to go to places to share some of the things you've heard today and throughout our podcasts. So I want to thank all of you for being here, donating in whatever way you can donate. It doesn't have to be money, but if it's money, that's good too. But I want to thank all of you for what you give. And for those on Pine Ridge, you continue to show up every time. Your strength, your prayers, your energy, your love is felt. And I want to thank you for that. That donation goes beyond anything money can do. I want to thank the elders. I want to thank your grandmother. I want to thank each of you. Aho.
Aho. Thanks, Jerry. Well done. And we do have actually a PayPal in our group. Feel free to do what you can, if you can, because we do need, and we're looking for more funding to do more. Actually, Jerry and I and another were supposed to be at an event this upcoming week, and we did not end up with enough funding to get there. And we don't want to have to do that if at all possible. If we're asked to be somewhere, to share the stories, to connect the people and the places, we want to make sure we have enough to do it. And believe me, we don't, when we go to some place, it's like, if we really splurge on a meal, it might be Denny's. So we don't need a lot, but we need gas in the tank and a place to lay our heads. Thank you all. This was a great program. Everybody contributed beautifully. Chris, are you complete? I see you edgy like you had one more thing to say.
You're on mute.
Unmute.
I'm just feeling at the moment the sense of gratitude for the stories, the knowledge, and the wisdom that's been shared here. Appreciate all of our family in Pine Ridge. I'm feeling the impact of this deeply. And once again, as I'm listening to people, it's breathing in what I'm feeling, connecting with that vitality that's been generated by the stories, by the knowledge and the wisdom shared here. And thank you, grandmother. Appreciate the invitation as well.
And to those who had, sorry.
No, I'll put the talking stick back in the middle.
Okay. And we thank those who left already. And Kat, thank you very much for being here again. White Fox, it was so good to hear you. If you watch this again, it's been a while. And Gio, you always come up with good, timely pieces, and the way you work is different than the way I work. And that's perfect, because then we bring in a lot of different elements to the pie. So thanks to everybody. I'm going to zap us off, because in a minute it's going to turn me off anyway. Blessings to all.
Everyone, great show.
Blessings, brother.
Blessings.
Oh.